Channeling session, James Dean. He's sitting down across from me. We are like on a movie set, like a country cowboy movie set. It's not dressed that way, but we're like outside. And you know how like outside the saloon? It's the saloon doors. We're sitting on the steps in front of the saloon doors. Huh. It's a nice bright day. It's beautiful. We're sitting side by side, just facing across the street. And he looks at me with this James Dean smile and kind of squinted eyes because of the sun. And it's funny, I laugh and I lean into him like I know him. It's very interesting. He is a person that if he liked you, you would feel comfortable around him. And he liked to tease and laugh and have fun. And he was very immature in his teasing. That was one side of him. There were several sides of him that he will talk about. Okay, so this is how you do it. Okay. This is wild. You know, people have tried to channel me. They didn't get the full essence of me. Who I was, what I'm about. They just know the outside package. And that's just not me. And first of all, I'd like to pay a compliment to this, I guess you call her a vessel, I'll call her Robin. Compliment. She's something different than I've ever met before. She has something of a kindness and gentleness to her. And I've met a lot of women. I've been with a lot of women. I've been with a lot of men. And you can't judge me on any of that, and I will go through that in a minute. But no matter, right now, I'm sitting with her. And it feels good. I feel at home with her. And I think she makes a lot of people feel that way. That they can confide in her and be free. And she enjoys people. And she asked me, because she's never seen her twin in person. She asked me, am I better looking than her twin? I said, no. He's better looking than me. She goes, really? Yeah. How does one judge what they look like, you know? I don't think he's too bad. Just better stay nice to you. Alright, let me talk about who I am. And I want to talk about something else. Where I've been. So my life, my mother, my mother was a part of me. She was my heart. I loved her so much. It was beyond anything. A boy loves his mother. If she's a good mother, she was. She wanted the best for me. I think she loved me more than my father. I don't think she cared for him much, but they stayed married. And she got sick. I was young. And then she died. Then I was lost. That's the day I lost my life. I lost the love of my life, which was my mother. And I say that in a pure form, not in a tainted form. My light went out. I lost myself. My father, he didn't even know me. He didn't even care to know me. We lived in the same house, and then he felt I needed a family. And so he sent me away to other family of married couple. It was alright, but it was nothing special. I missed my mom. I couldn't stand life. Then a man came into my life years later. He's a pastor, a preacher, minister, whatever you call him. Man of God. He took me under his wing. He saw my sorrow. Yeah, right. He saw my weakness. He saw I could be manipulated. And he was my first, if you know what I mean. Yep. Then I lost my soul again to a minister. For some freaking reason, I cared about this man, even though he abused me. And then I moved. Yada yada yada. Then we continue on all the way to Hollywood, New York. Kind of was just starting to discover myself. I could talk to anybody. I could be anybody's friend. I knew how to manipulate. I was very good at manipulating people. And without them even knowing it. I could do anything. So, thus, my acting. Let's go to Hollywood now. So, now that you know that I had the presence of men lovers in my life and females, mostly men, because men had this coldness to them that I liked. Women were so fluffy and had so much emotion. I couldn't stand all that emotion, and I didn't feel love. I didn't know love. I didn't want to know love. I was using and having self-gratification. That's because how a minister trained me. You know, I was abused, and I didn't know it. I didn't think about being abused. And it's just how I was groomed. I will say groomed. So you can't judge me too harshly because I didn't know anything. I didn't know what I was doing. I had a lot of anger in me. The anger came out in the movies. The craziness of my soul came out in the movies. Just the freakiness. I was a freak. I wasn't romantic. I wasn't spiritual. I was nothing. I was just used. Until I started using others. I became the worst of the worst. I abused men and women in Hollywood. I took them down and raped them. Everything was for my self-pleasure. I had anger in my sex. I liked to be angry. I liked to be hurt, and I liked to hurt others while I had sex. Because it made me feel something to hurt others and to have them hurt me. That's why I liked having sex with men mostly, because they were into that. Women weren't strong enough to be into it, especially in that day. It wasn't that. Masochism wasn't a thing. But mostly my sex was angry. with anger. Not proud of that, but you have to look at my past. You have to look how I was groomed. And I did anything to anybody, any age, to get into a movie. And they knew that I was willing and ready. I'd do anything. You just tell me what to do, and I'd do it. That's why I got in some really good films. See, sometimes just your looks, your acting, your personality can't get you in the door. Not in Hollywood. You gotta give it to them. You gotta make them remember you and want you and feel like they can't live without you. That's what you gotta do. And some of the best actors, that's what they did. They knew how to work it. And it was just well known. We all did it. I had romance with men that you wouldn't even think were gay. But I lured them. I taunted them. And I could do things to them that they never felt before. Do I feel good about myself on these things? No. Not now. Not where I've been. So, let me tell you about the day of my death. I was angry. See, you have all this kind of stuff going through your head. It's like a movie. I was missing my mom. And I know my life would have been so different with my mom. Because she would have went with me and been with me and protected me from all the wolves out there that formed me. Because then I became a wolf. And I didn't like it. No one likes being a predator. And then you see the pain of the prey sometimes. You don't feel good with that. You don't feel good. So things were just bottling up. Drinking, drugs, prescriptions, drugs. And I was losing my mind. I was young. I was losing my mind. And I just wanted to go fast. You know, I have to tell you, many people don't know this, but I had a suicide mind program since a young age. I thought about it all the time. It taunted me. And the only time I didn't think about it is when I got into a film. And I was acting. It was great. I loved acting. I loved the manipulation of the characters. I loved the craziness of the characters. I loved the attention. And I loved the money. Because then I was somebody. And then I was becoming world known. My name. Everybody knew my name. Everybody knew me. It was crazier than hell. And then I was just driving fast. And crazy fast. And I was pulled over. Because I was driving fast. I wasn't driving that fast. They pulled me over because I was in a sports car and police. Then they saw who I was, told me to slow down. I'll do that, officer. I'll do it. I'll just slow on down. Police officer left, went the other way, and I just sped up. I don't know what I was thinking. I was not thinking. I was just going as fast as I could. I wanted to just see how fast I could push it. Because it was like when you have sex and you have angry sex and you have masochistic sex. You feel something. Well, driving fast made me feel something. It's dangerous. I could die. guess what? I did die. Popped myself right out of my body when the car hit. Gone. Kind of was glad, you know? Because I was standing there looking at the car, looking at the ejected body, crumpled up. Well, not all of it was ejected, but you don't know the truth of my death. But and then I felt a hand on my shoulder. And guess what? Yep, it's my mom. That my death was worth that. To be with my mom again. I think we held each other for eternity. I said, "You are never leaving me again." And she said, "My son, I'm so sorry. So sorry. No matter. You're here now." And then she took me home. Now you see, even though I did some bad things, I didn't do real bad things, just some bad things. But it was because I was groomed that way. And so I wasn't judged so harshly in my life, my young life. I was young and I died. And so I didn't really need to go to a super reparative planet. My soul wasn't that shredded. I just needed to be taught and guided. And my mom took me there by the hand. And then I learned truth. I learned love. See, I didn't know it. I didn't even have an inkling of what love was about and how to treat another person in love, or even know how to accept love. And I had no anger. I changed. I let that love seep into me, seep into my spirit, and activate me. And then I was taught. I had men and women come forward, and they met with me, and they taught me about the planet, its formation. They taught me about the stars, the universe. They taught me about every single species. I never even thought of that. Wasn't even a thought in my head that there was something more than our race. And then I said, hell yeah, I want to meet them all. And they let me. It was amazing. Some of them scared me. But once they talked or they did telepathy, they had more knowledge than the universe. And then I started craving knowledge. I started craving knowing each one of them. I wanted to know everything about them. I wanted to know about their star system. I wanted to know about their ships. I wanted to know about their lives. I wanted to know everything. And then they said, you need to go to a man that is of your own race and stay with him, and he will guide you. He takes on spirits like you, and then you work with him, and then you will work next to him, and he will guide you and take you on missions to other planetary systems. Is this something you want to do? And I said, hell yeah. I don't know if I said hell, but I said yes. They took me to this man. He was a commander of the human race. And I said, I'm James Dean. I'm no good for nothing. But I want to know it all. And I can change. And I want to change. And I want to learn everything that you know. And I'm smart. You might have to control me a little bit. But if you take me on, you'll never regret it, I said. This commander laughed. He put his hands, 2 hands on my shoulder as he laughed. And he said, son, where I heard that before. I think I said that myself to my father, Michael, the archangel. I told my father I wanted to know everything. I wasn't a perfect man. I was squirrely. My head was everywhere. And I had some anger. But my father took me in and showed me the way. And here I am. I think you'll do, he said to me. I think you'll be just fine. Come on, let's go get something to eat, he said. I was all into that. So, my spirit, my life began. As a human, I clung on to this comrade, this commander, taught me everything. And now, that's why I'm here. This vessel is going, how can this always go full cycle? Here is James Dean talking to me. And now I learn who he is with. And it's full circle. Brilliant, isn't it, little girl? Yep. And he talks John Wayne, and he learned that from me. Just so you know, his John Wayne is from me. We practice the John Wayne walk all the time. Alright, you people don't know anything I'm talking about, but this vessel does. And her twin knows exactly what I'm talking about. Enjoy this message, twin, who's more handsome than me. Enjoy this. Because life is going to be pretty amazing here. And I'll come visit you. Be kind to the people of this world. We understand and we know everything that's happening. It's chaos. It is the division is meant to divide you. It's meant to throw you off your path. So, your understanding now is to stay centered. You're going to have everything thrown you off your path. Everything. Confuse you, discombobulate you, anger you, all of it. It will all make no sense. But there is complete alignment right now. I know that makes no sense. But there's things in complete alignment at this time. I am part of the process here. I am going to be. I volunteer to be. Because I have been trained by the best. And I serve now. And I perform great and immeasurable tasks of intelligence. You're going to come to understanding in January. Everything will come together in January. You will have an understanding of everything that's happening to you in your world and in your United States. The alignment will be complete and seared together in January. This vessel, we're so proud of her. We are proud because her growth and openness is immeasurable, and we are using her and her strength. And it's interesting to see the outside components attack her, because they see who she is and the kindness that she gets malaligned with people, and they try to penetrate and throw her off her path. And then she backs up and she regroups. And her twin, now twin, you know women, you have to listen to him. This one you have to listen to, because she needs you. She needs you to listen, and she needs the pep talks, because sometimes she gets thrown off her path, a little beat up for no reason. See, you need to understand, when you have vessels and oracles that are raised in such a way of enlightenment, and then they're attacked by evil, they don't understand it. It throws them. They can't believe it. You know, some of us are street smart, but some of them, they can't be street smart because they have to keep that pure sense of oracleship at a level that most people can't attain. But then the opposition can go through a human and verbally or emotionally attack them. That throws them off their game. Twin knows what I'm saying. Thank you for so far being willing to be the mouthpiece to bring her back. Alana and I have been working with you to understand who you are and who she is. It's been fun. It's been a lot of fun. Okay. Okay, to the audience. Let me regroup to the audience. So, January. You're going to come to understand a lot of stuff. I'm not going to say you're going to see a lot of stuff, but you're going to know a lot of stuff by January. And things are going to be fused and solidified and made solid. And you are going to be planted and rooted and strengthened wherever you stand. I think that's all I have to say. It's been great. It's been great sitting here, feeling the sun on my face, breathing the fresh air. I've chosen not to come back down to this earth yet. I had an opportunity to help you, to help the people, to push the agenda forward, to join the group that's going to be formed. But I chose not to because I feel I may become misguided and not strong enough. So I've chosen to work through and come down and help those through telepathy and energy. I am a high energy source now. I can meditate and transform myself into the middle of the air It's amazing what strength I've learned that I can have once you are healed. It's amazing to feel boundless and pure, and like this vessel says, clean. When you feel these things, that means you've accelerated above all others. You've accelerated above everything, and you stop hearing the noise. And that's when she says you feel clean, because the noise is gone, and you just have pure intent and pure thought. I will stay with this vessel. I will protect her. I will lead and guide her, either through a voice or through her twin. She is anointed. She is anointed to be a mouthpiece, to speak. She is anointed to be so. I end this transmission. James Dean, signing off. I'm not forgotten. I'm still around, but don't worship my life on earth. Worship what I have become, because that is what is important.